From the pages of The Ring's Wrestling, October 1964, we dive into a golden age of wrestling mythology, where legends are built not just in the ring, but across continents, between editorials, and through fan fervor that stretched from New York to Tokyo to London. This issue is loaded with stories of greatness, power, scandal, and spectacle. Let's get into it. We begin with the bold editorial by Nat Lubay, titled "Fans No Suckers, Let's Have a World Champ." He calls out the chaos surrounding wrestling's fragmented titles and demands a true, unified world championship bout between Bruno Sammartino and Lou Thesz. Lubay argues that both men are claiming world title status, but only one can be the real champion. He calls for promoters to step aside, for rules to be standardized, and for fans to stop being treated like fools. His words carry weight. It's a challenge to the entire wrestling industry to clean up its act. Then we move into a bombshell feature, Bruno Sammartino's open challenge to Cassius Clay, later known as Muhammad Ali. Bruno proposes a mixed match, boxer versus wrestler. He says he respects Clay's footwork but insists that once he locks in a bear hug or backbreaker, it's over. Sammartino cites past mixed fights where wrestlers dominated, claiming boxers just can't survive against real wrestling techniques. It's bold, confident, and a direct shot across the bow of boxing's biggest star. From heavyweight legends, we shift to regional firestorms. The magazine recaps a chaotic U.S. title match where Frank Scarpa regains his belt from the infamous Bull Curry. The bout erupts into a brawl that spills beyond the ring, with fans and other wrestlers charging in to break it up. Curry tears the referee's shirt, attacks Golden Boy Dupree, and has to be restrained. Scarpa stands tall, bloodied but victorious. We then meet the Mortier brothers, Hans and Max, billed as possibly the strongest wrestlers in the world. Managed by Wild Red Berry, these German imports are described as sculpted monsters, with incredible power and clean-cut physiques. Max Mortier, the younger of the two, is still learning American wrestling psychology, but his raw strength, like hoisting a 250-pound opponent over his head, is enough to make fans and competitors alike take notice. Next is a stunning personal profile of Jean Boucher, a 21-year-old female wrestler rising fast in the ranks. She's beautiful, fierce, and fearless, known for biting, headbutts, and drop kicks off the top rope. Boucher trains under Lillian Ellison, better known as the Fabulous Moolah, and aspires to beat her someday. She loves horses, Western music, and hasn't let wrestling strip away her femininity. The article makes one thing clear: Jean Boucher is not a sideshow, she's a serious contender. This leads into one of the magazine's signature pieces, The Pictorial History of Women's Wrestling, Part 4. This installment focuses on iconic female wrestlers promoted by Jack Pfeffer, names like June Byers, Lillian Ellison, Mae Weston, and Ella Waldeck. Pfeffer praises the physical evolution of women in the sport. He says today's women are better athletes, better trained, and better looking than ever. He pushes back against the idea of women wrestling men, but calls for more visibility and respect for women's wrestling. Then we turn the page to the controversial feature Topless Suits for Women Wrestlers. Written in a playful but provocative tone, it covers a fictionalized meeting of the Lady Wrestlers Association, debating whether to adopt topless wrestling gear. Some want more freedom of movement, others argue it would bring in bigger crowds. The proposal is ultimately tabled, but the scene reflects the era's shifting values on gender, performance, and spectacle. Next, Alibaba's origin story unfolds. Real name, Arsene Ezekian. He wrestled under the moniker Alibaba and was once a feared champion. This article chronicles his Navy career, his movie roles, and his reputation as a strongman with 54-inch expanded chest measurements. He once lifted a 300-pound dead weight during an interview, a powerful performer who blurred the lines between monster and mat technician. We then get an impressive feature on Kyoka Sato, a half-Japanese, half-American female wrestler who made a name for herself in Japan before dominating the U.S. women's scene. Sato is small, fast, and relentless. She brings judo techniques into her matches and is hailed as a new kind of wrestler, one with international flair and quiet fury. The official ratings follow. On the men's side, Lou Thesz sits atop the list, with Bruno Sammartino at number 2. The top 15 is stacked with legends: Fred Blassie, Dick the Bruiser, Vern Gine, Ray Stevens, and more. Among the women, Rita Cortez holds the #1 spot, followed by Moolah, Penny Banner, and Kay Noble. For tag teams, the Von Brauners lead the way, with George and Sandy Scott, Doc and Mike Gallagher, and the Tolos brothers right behind. The fan mail section, RW Mat Mail, is pure gold. Letters come in from all over the world: New York, Toledo, St. Albans, and even England. Fans argue for more women's wrestling coverage, beg for a Thess versus Sammartino showdown, and even call out phony promoters using fake names. One fan wants a list of which wrestlers are married, claiming girls get crushes only to find out their favorites have wives and kids. Among the special stories is a standout by Nat Fleischer, the founder of The Ring, on how wrestlers used to fabricate their backstories to sell tickets. East Side Boys rebranded as Russian aristocrats, or Detroit natives turned into Turkish wildmen. He uses Ali Baba as the example. Once marketed as an Armenian brute, later revealed to be an American Navy vet and Hollywood actor. The magazine is packed with regional reports covering Baltimore, Charleston, Pittsburgh, Memphis, El Paso, Florida, California, Europe, and Ireland. Each city paints its own vivid picture of in-ring chaos, blood feuds, and local legends. There are also spectacular match shots of Roy Heffernan, Chris Tolos, Gorilla Monsoon, Bobo Brazil, Killer Kowalski, and others delivering devastating maneuvers in full black and white glory. And finally, don't miss the Joe Weider Muscle Builder ads. Promising to slap on 4 inches of muscle to your chest and make women swoon, these vintage pages are the peak of masculine aspiration, complete with free trial forms and testimonials from Clancy Ross, the most developed man alive. This issue of The Ring's Wrestling doesn't just chronicle matches. It reveals an entire wrestling ecosystem where personalities were bigger than the arenas and fans demanded truth, drama, and power in every hold. So if you remember when Thess ruled the ring, when Bruno challenged boxing royalty, and when John Boucher could beat you with a drop kick and a smile, then this issue is for you. Like, share, and subscribe, because every day we bring you the grapplers, the glamour, and the glory from the pages.